This episode may contain strong language and adult themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Jules, are you trying to compete with my bum?
Now, there's something you don't hear every day, isn't it? Jules,
are you saying Bernie's better than your bum, Jen?
No, I'm asking if he's trying to compete with my bum.
No, I was hoping Phil would be on after the election and so on.
After anyway, the inauguration, welcome, so everybody. Welcome, everybody, to episode 43 of the 22 Dropouts, where Jen is trying to see whether Julian is attempting to outdo her bottom. That's for another episode after the watershed. But here we are your favourite YouTube show and podcast all about rugby, and particularly with a referee slant. Don't forget to check us out on our social media channels. They're up there, because after Sam's got something, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Julian. Work it, girl. Work it.
Should have been a weather girl.
They're up there anyway, because now Sam's got some details with the public relations officer in Malta. He now realises he has to do something on our social media channel, and Julian's politely agreed to take on some of them as well. So thanks, Julian.
Agreed. Bullied into, more likely.
Shut up. Hang on, I've got to mute you when you do that. So Julian's agreed to take over some of our social media channels. So do go and check them out. They're up there. Just search at 22 Dropouts.
Well, he doesn't do anything else.
God help us if you were doing the social media.
You can unmute yourself now, Jules. Because actually, the first thing we want to do tonight is we're going to go live. We're going to go live now to Malta when Sam unmutes himself because he's got a bit of a dodgy microphone tonight. Sam, you just want to have a quick chat about something in the news tonight from Kelso Rugby CLub, don't you?
Yeah, so some sad news came out of Kelso Rugby CLub there at the weekend. A gentleman called Jock Todd unfortunately passed away. Now, when you think of ambassadors of the game, you know, proper gentlemen, all the, you know, legends, Jock is this guy, first on the list every time for me. I mean, he's the type of guy, or was the type of guy, that he'd be the first in the change room to congratulate you if you won, and he'd take all the credit. And at the same time, he'd be the first one to tell you if you played shite, he'd say to you, you're shite, but don't worry, you'll have a good game next week. And he wasn't too bothered about having a go at a referee as well. So, you know, but that was Jock.
We thought he was talking about you already.
Yeah. That was Jock Todd, but he's that type of lad. He's that well known. Now, this is the crazy part, that he only ever travelled abroad once, and that was to Ireland to actually go and watch Kelso Harlequins, right? Which is the youth team under 18s that he basically managed for 30 years or something. And that was the only time he's ever been abroad. He's so well known throughout the Scottish borders and Kelso that you could go on holiday. I mean, I've got his book here that is called Jock Todd of Blakelow. That people would go on holiday to New Zealand, Australia, America, Spain, wherever, and you could hear somebody mention Kelso, and the first thing they'd say, "Oh, do you ken Jock Todd?" So, you know, for somebody that never travelled, everybody knew Jock Todd. So, you know, that's the kind of person he was. Love the character, absolutely amazing. I mean, there's not so many people in our game that, you know, spend over 50, nearly 60 years with one club, doing everything you can do, from playing to being the sponge boy to running the line to coaching to being a committee member, and never mind actually staying in the same job for over 60 years. So in Blakelow is a little farm just outside of Kelso, and he was there all his life. with his wife Jocelyn, who unfortunately passed away a few years back. So this book, he penned this book back in 2017-18, and the likes of, you know, contributed to their book, like Ross Ford, John Jeffrey, Eric Paxton, Alan Tate, John Rutherford, Gary Callender, Roger Beard, Jim Rennick, George Fairburn, Scott Newlands, Stuart Lang. You know, all these people felt the need that they wanted to contribute to the book, and well, by Jock Todd's order, all the money that was made, there was a tenner to buy it, everything went to the Kelso Harlequins. So there was no profit on that, it just all went to the Quins. As I say, he passed away at the weekend there from an illness at the Kelso Hospital, which is obviously unfortunate. So yeah, some good memories of when we used to play with the Quins. One of the things that he would do is he was the life and soul of the party, so he was always entertaining people on the coach. And one of the things he would like to do is make himself out to look like Elvis. So he'd spike his hair up, get the gel up and put his hair up, and then put a tie around his head. God knows how many ties he actually lost, but there you go. And start singing, like you always said it was Elvis, but I think it was like Halberry or something like that, you know, was it 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? he would say it was Elvis, but it was somebody else that was singing. So, but yeah, life is soul of the party. He's just one of those absolute brilliant people that, you know, every club has someone like that in their clubs back home and, you know, and anywhere in the world. And he's going to be sorely missed by a lot of people. And yeah, so just condolences to his family and, you know, and to Kelso Rugby Club and everybody that knew him. So I'll take a drink to Jock Todd.
Yeah, I think we should all raise a glass to Jock. And Sam, is that book still available at all?
Yeah, I think you can still get it on Amazon, actually.
And all the proceeds go to Kelso Rugby Club?
Yep, Kelso. It goes to Kelso Harlequins. So Kelso Harlequins is the under-18s. It's actually got a separate committee apart from Kelso Rugby Club.
Just let everybody see that nice and close on your camera. And if you are interested, it's Jock Todd of Blakelaw, A Full Life of Rugby and Farming in the Scottish Borders. And you can get that on Amazon. And what a great tribute that would be to his legacy now if people wanted to go and get that and support the team again. Now, I've got to say, rugby could be back this weekend. Although, to be fair, there has been that strange thing that the Welsh and the Scottish like to call rugby going on last weekend as well. And last week,
complain about that. Cardiff won. I had a happy day down in fucking Sledley as well.
Down in where?
It wasn't static.
Down in that place. Anyway, yeah. So last week, as you'll know, there was one game that the only person who watched it was Sam, and there was controversy with a train whistle. Allegedly, there's more controversy this week. I didn't see it again because it's like north of the border, but mainly because I forgot it was on S4C. And we've seen quite a lot of debate in social media this last few days about a certain, shall we say, tackle or fend off. What's your views on that, guys?
Perfectly legal. It was done by a Cardiff guy, honest and Nestle guy. He could have punched him in the head and I'd say play on.
So for those of you who don't know, Sam, did you, or Jules, did you watch the game, either of you two?
I didn't. I was actually skiing on the weekend, so I missed it. So I only saw the highlights.
So absolutely nobody bothered to watch that game because it was.
Well, I've seen that tackle and what happened, and Yanto, who was the TMO, radioed in, looked at it, fine, play on. And all that's happened, he's come in, and the tackle has come in from the left, has stuck his head over to the right. So when he's gone to push him off, he's caught him and he's given him a bit of a clonk and knocked him out. Because when you tackle a massive fucking prop badly with terrible technique, you're probably going to end up unconscious. And that's what's happened.
I think we should have that in writing, and we should have that on the changing room door of every single club in the land.
Yeah. If you're going to tackle a prop, you get your fucking technique right. If you're
There you go.
get your technique right. And there's some good examples. I saw one earlier with this massive prop thundering down the wing, and this little lad up against him. It was some of the best. It was like one of these clip shows on YouTube, and it just popped up on my feed somewhere. And it's this tiny little number 15, probably from one of the South American countries teams. I think it was Uganda, not Uganda. That's fucking wrong.
Yeah, that's in South America, isn't it?
Uruguay.
Look at Lawrence's face. Yeah, Uganda's in South America, right?
Took down a prop. This tiny little fullback. And
The
it was
bigger
cracking.
they are, the
If you got the
harder they
technique right.
fall.
Get
Yeah,
the technique
technique.
right, they go down. And
Anyway,
this,
just repeat what you said about what we should have on changing room doors.
if you're going to tackle a prop, get your fucking technique right.
There you go. Hashtag, you heard it here first. If you're going to tackle a prop, get your fucking technique right. So, I mean, there's been a lot of debate from players, ex-players, commentators. Lots of people have asked Nige, and Nige has waded in. And one of the things he said is you've got to discount the actions of the tackler, which you have. It's not anybody else's fault what he does or how he does it. What you've got to do, and this goes for anything, is you have to look and say, let's say it was the tackler at fault. Was the tackle going to be legal? Was there anything illegal about the tackle? The same with the fend off, or however you want to call it. Was there anything illegal? And if there wasn't, then you can't go any further down your matrix. It's as simple as that. The consequences from that point onwards, if there was no foul play, are irrelevant. And that it just becomes a rugby incident, doesn't it?
What you've just said there is exactly what the TMO said during the game live. There's no foul play here. Play on.
I haven't even watched it yet.
No.
But it does bring into question. I know somebody posted a few things on our group page. And it does bring into question this. We have, for decades, as referees, at the top end of the game, we allow things to happen, and then we try and pull them back. And we've tried to pull back the fact that people were leading with the elbow or the non-carrying arm with it tucked. And we have now said that if the arm is tucked at the point of contact and then pushed away, that's fine. If the arm comes away from the body before contact, that's foul play. What we're trying to do is mitigate the fact that people should be handing off. So I think we've either got to write into law that people can tuck their arm and then move it after contact, or we say, it's either got to be, look at the way Delalio used to always go into contact, ball in the back arm, shoulder down, and just run. He knew he was going to hit people and go to ground. He never then tried to push them off at all. So
and again, you said that, Mike, and you look at that incident again, the same one, and you look at the slow-mo of it, and when you get the contact, the arm is here, and he moves forward in the contact area.
No, I agree with you.
Like I said, the TMO's come back and said,
I agree with you. So does that now need the lawmakers, much, much higher up above our pay grade, to look at it again and go, actually, we either need to write something into law that sort of follows that, or do we go back to it's handoff only with the palm of the hand with a straight arm?
I don't think it does. I think it's already covered in the guidelines for the referees. I think we already cover it. They've made the right decision. They've done the right call. Somebody got hurt, which is a tragedy. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. But it's a contact sport. Now and again, we're going to have accidents, and this is one of them. A rugby incident's happened. It's an accident. We play on. The referee stopped the game to check on the player, and then he's come back.
I should think so. He was unconscious.
Yeah, he was out cold, and you could see it. But as soon as he was just like, as soon as after the contact, he's just gone.
Yeah, he was prostrated.
A bit like Pete in a bar on tour with me and Sam.
Well, Pete looks like he's about to do that anyway, mainly because his dog is molesting him again.
Well, I think Jen just sent a little message out asking if Pete was being replaced by the dog.
Yes.
More personality than half of you lot.
Dog has more to say than Pete, and it's not disgusting.
Just everyone shout walkies.
No, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that.
I don't know what to shout that's going to be clean and allowed under Ofcom rules that's going to excite that dog, bearing in mind it lives in Pete's house.
Don't shout, "Where's your chameleon?" You have to watch the show from a few weeks ago if you want to understand that joke.
No, it's she wants to go out, but she can't talk to me, obviously. But that's her cause that she wants to go out. But
I've heard that about most of your girlfriends, Pete, that they can't talk to you when
that's not what
they just sit on your lap and go like this.
Get out. Different word.
no, there's not many girls that lick their face and want to go out.
So on that note, hashtag you heard that here first as well. It's time to take a quick break and we'll be back right after this.
When you need clear and concise match official communication systems, look no further than the brand new AXIWE AT350.
Radios are always useful, they always help us, especially AXIWEs, where all three of us can be open at any time, we can have open communication.
Available now from refcomsglobal.net. Investing profits into match official development worldwide.
Welcome back to part 2 of the 22 Dropouts, where we are we're talking fucking rugby. How on earth did that happen? Maybe it's because Lawrence is back with us. Jambo, Lawrence, how you doing, man?
Jambo. I'm very well.
How's rugby in Kenya, bud?
At least we're now lucky because we're gonna have some rugby action from 27th of February. So the Kenya Cup, which is basically the top tier league in the country, is going to resume. So at least after a year, we can have some rugby action to watch.
It is welcome back to rugby. It's welcome back to rugby in Kenya. It's not welcome back to rugby for most of us in the UK. But we are going to doff our caps. We are going to tug our forelocks. We are going to bow to the man who is the most popular amongst us, the man who has more social media hits than Queen Elizabeth II, and members of the royal family actually talk about him on calls with me. It's Mr. Darryl Chapman. Hi, mate. Welcome back.
What can I say?
Nothing. Seriously, you can't say anything quite clearly. You are a man. You are a legend. You are the guy. And that's it. But you are now. For those of you who may not know, Darryl and his cohort have had an enforced 2-week break because of COVID and the fact that the EPCR, because of the French. So Darryl, welcome to the fucking club. Now you know what it's felt like for us for the last 10 bastard months. So tell us, what did you do in your 2 weeks off that we've all been doing for 10 fucking months?
Well, I got the paintbrush out and did some painting, painted some rooms in the house, which was really unusual. I don't think my wife or children have seen me do that for many years. Yes.
Yeah, now you know what it bloody feels like, and I'm glad you've had to suffer like we have. But no, you are due back again this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah, we've got we're in Greenish Premiership round 7, 6 games. There's now 2 on Friday because the Leicester Sale game has been moved to Friday night. Originally it was Saturday. And then we've got Trout Finders Cup, Doncaster versus Ealing, where I'm going to be running the line, which is the first time for a few months. And then we've got 2 games in the Allianz Premiership. So busy weekend of rugby in England at last. Something to watch on the telly.
Something to watch on the telly and something for you to do again. So are you just running the line in the Trout Finders Cup?
That's all I'm doing on Saturday in sunny Doncaster.
Mate, that's a bit fucking far for you, isn't it?
It's not sunny.
It's about about a 6-hour drive there and back.
And the RFU complains about expenses claims.
I'm hour and a half away from Donny. I could easily do that. I could do your job.
Yeah, but you're shit and Darryl isn't.
To be honest, though, lads, a 6-hour drive's a local game over here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you guys, did we talk about this last week, or were we off air? No, I think we were off air when we talked about this.
Maybe.
Some of the journeys that you've got over in Sweden are, I'd say, brutal, but they're not. They're fucking suicidal.
The longest one is Trelleborg. They're a top division side, and it's about a 5-hour train trip for me. But I still got to get to the train station. So
if you're playing there, you go down the night before. There's no way you're traveling in the morning.
No, I've done Trelleborg in a day, there and back.
Okay, well, the clubs will actually send us down the night before, and we stay in a hotel.
Yeah, the clubs do. I usually will go down the night before and referee down and then stay the night.
That's what she's
Come on, Pete. I know Pete wants to get in here. It's probably not very interesting, but as he's tried hard.
No. Jen just said if you go down, you're not getting up in the morning.
Right, good night, Pete.
To be honest, at my age, that's probably true.
Now, hang on a minute.
It's only a 10-minute round trip in Malta.
Well, yeah, 15 if it's bad traffic, mate.
Yeah.
You get traffic, you may get 15 minutes there and back.
You can walk it.
I was talking to a few friends in Spain about their arrangement, and they play at 10 o'clock at night because it's so hot to play.
Yeah.
And they've got like a 4 or 5 hour drive, and then every rugby club or something, or in Portugal or Spain, have got like some like a village hall that all the players stay in. They get hammered and then come back the next day.
Not all of them, because I've been on tour into Spain.
Volunteer.
I've been on tour to Spain, and we played the game was played there, and they have a massive party on the side of the pitch afterwards. Everybody brings barbecues, loads of beer turns up, and everyone just gets wankered. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last tour as a player happened to be to the Marbella Vets series. If you're ever wanting to go on a tour for a Vets team, go to the Marbella Vets on the May Bank holiday. It is awesome. Do it for 5 days. It's even more awesome. 2 days of rugby, 5 days of beer.
We're in Warsaw that weekend every year.
Yeah, the best tournament in the world.
Which is
yeah. Well, we're going. In fact, should we actually be allowed out of our homes, never mind out of our countries by then, we will all be over there, and you can watch a live episode of 22 Dropouts. Can you just imagine that? Fucking hell, we're going to get arrested. It would be messy. Can you imagine trying? Guess what?
And that's just watching
this screen and realise I've not started my fucking clock again. So this is going to be fun trying to guess how long we've been on air. Yeah, so that's on the cards. I was chatting today about the Tropical Sevens Easter weekend, and given the travel restrictions, well, I can't see us going this year again, which is a bit of a shame. But hey, Florida, lock up your daughters. We'll be back soon. Or in Jen's case, lock up your sons.
Well, plus, like Rugby Europe has started planning some of the championship games now again to finish off the 2020 season, because they have to do it for the promotion and relegation.
Okay, I was going to say you do know it's 2021, but go on.
Yes, yeah. The 2020 league finish it off so they can then start the 2021 year.
And when are these supposed to happen?
Fairly soon, actually, February and March. Sorry. One of our colleagues is a young up and coming referee in Switzerland. Has got his first championship game on touch on the trophy.
Ethan
on the top. Ethan, yeah. So him and Jan, two of the refs from Switzerland, will be joining one of the top level refs to referee. I can't remember which game it is.
Ethan's a quality referee.
It's Spain versus. It might be Spain, Portugal, or Spain, Russia. I think he's on. So congratulations.
Well, at least he's going somewhere warm.
Spain, Portugal. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Have they scheduled the women's games? Because I feel like there are games to be played for qualifying for the World Cup.
No, but I know they're talking about them now. That was the next on the planning sheet, I think. They're the women's because they qualified for the World Cup. They were next on the priority list after the championship.
Why aren't they first? Why aren't they first, Jen?
Because it was just timing. They need to finish the championship off for promotion, and they got more time to do the women's qualifiers.
Well, there's a point. Why do women's rugby come second in the hierarchy there? We'll talk about that after this break. We'll see you in a moment. welcome back to part 3 of the 22 dropouts, where Pete was trying to do something quite rude as usual, and of course we just muted him mid-sentence. But during the break, we had such a great discussion because we were talking about Pete and his ceiling light, which we can all see at the moment. Because Jen, you've met Pete before, and it's the only time you met him outside of this chat room or this show, isn't it? Do tell us a bit more.
That's a lie. You've met him at the Stock-on-Tens.
Well, I don't remember meeting him at the Stock-on-Tens.
You won't remember it because you were hammered, but you've met him.
Well, he obviously made no lasting impression. There's this Facebook group. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's basically rugby singles in quarantine or something. And Jules was in there for a while, even though he's not single.
And then I left.
Yeah, good. But basically, Pete's in there as well. And what is he writing here?
he wrote, "She was Pikachu," and if you've ever,
she was Pikachu. He wrote, and it's like, no, we know that's.
I was not Pikachu. I was not even
Pikachu spelled with a C, not a K. But carry on anyway, Jen.
I can't remember the exact context, but he was. I was saying something like, "Well, if that's what you're saying to girls, and obviously that's the reason you're single." It was funny, but I can't remember what it was because it was so long ago.
Find it, screenshot it, and show it now.
Pete, what are you doing in the singles chat room on Facebook, mate?
So me and Jen are in it. Hey, Julian was in it, and he was in a relationship.
No, I wasn't. I couldn't get out. I couldn't fucking find the exit button.
What, on Facebook or the relationship?
I actually had to ask. I actually had to ask Jen, how the fuck do you leave the room? I've got no idea. I joined so many, but I don't know how to get out of the fucking things.
We thought you couldn't get out of the relationship.
Oh God, no! I couldn't get out of the fucking room in Facebook.
Yeah, no. Right.
Murph might still be in there as well.
Be careful, Jules. You might just hang yourself here, mate.
Oh, yeah, I'm out. I've been out for a while.
Sam wasn't in it.
She gave me instructions on how to get out, so I got out.
Well, Lawrence has just sent me a message saying, "How can he join?"
It's just on Facebook. What's it called again, Pete? I can't remember. What's the group called?
I'll show you what it's called. It's called. Hang on, where have I put it? Here it is.
Well, do you have notes on this?
Why do you know what a singles group is, Mike?
No.
Let's see. Quarantine rugby singles ready to mingle.
Yeah.
There you go, Lawrence. Get on Facebook tonight. Do you want me to write that down? Do you need me to type it in now?
Thank you.
No, it was just a bit of fun by Casey. Casey set it up. It was just a bit of fun. It was just because it was just so boring. I don't think anyone's actually met anybody or done anything.
Because that's because it's fucking lockdown.
Yeah,
I find it amusing that I feel like front rowers are just
front rows
represented in this group.
Yeah, the front rows are definitely the most single position in the country. And all the fit ones.
Country. This is like a worldwide group.
Yeah, no one wants to be with a prop.
And we're just too intimidating. That's it.
No, it's because all they do is talk about how much food they eat. Have you ever noticed that? All right.
Not in women, no.
So anyway,
I don't normally date the sort of male props that you date, Pete, but yeah.
The group was all set up to just have a bit of fun during lockdown. And to be fair, it's just somebody randomly posting every day just to try and keep the group going. That gets about 4 hits. It's not even a great group. So
that sounds a bit like Jen posting pictures of men's bottoms for Julian to look at. It's not very entertaining, and then he only gets 4 hits. That's only because Julian looks at it 4 times a day.
Well, it's on Snapchat, so they disappear pretty quick, and then I get like Jules.
Very quick. I know to be ready and prepared.
So
I know to be
does he have
prepared when you send me.
So in order to get the 4 hits in, does he ask you to send them again, or do you just oblige?
No, he holds down the button to view again.
That is an option.
And then
0.
all of a sudden it says, Julian has now screenshotted your Snapchat.
I wouldn't know. To be honest, I've got no
replays.
idea what you're talking about. As soon as you mention Snapbook or something shit like that, I've got no idea. Anyway,
Face chat.
face chat and tweetbook and all that. So I've got no idea. Anyway, it's time we talk. It's almost. You know what? It's nearly time for rumours again. We might bring back the rumour mill because now shit's starting to happen. And one of the
Do
things
we get to make these rumours up?
No.
Oh hell yeah! If you've ever seen our first show from New Zealand, you'll know that Eddie Jones is still going over to Australia on a coach swap, but it's not quite happened yet. So the most exotic rumours are always the best. They tend to be made up, but have a slither of truth or potential truth to them. So what's not rumoured today is that the two Joes are no longer in the England squad for the Six Nations. One of them hasn't broken his leg and the other one can't be asked. So Joe Launchbury has broken his leg and is going to be out for a minimum of 6 weeks. May be able to join the end of the championship, but he's going to stay with the Wasps Medics. And Joe Marler, who he's decided that he isn't going to go into the bubble and he's going to spend time at home. So actually, I know we take the piss out of Joe Marler all the time, but we wish them both well, and we wish Joe Marler's wife well as well.
Stop tickling penises during games.
Yes, well, maybe that's it. Maybe his wife said to him, you're not going because I'm fed up with you fondling another man's bollocks. That's my job. I don't know. I don't know his wife that well. But another one...
do some stuff on social media, though, for the England team, because he's funny. It's fucking weird, but he's funny.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. He's fucking... Hashtag you heard it here first. He's fucking weird, but he's funny. Yeah, you're damn right, Jack. Could we really, though? Could we really?
Just fucking weird, full stop.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other thing I've heard today is Minozzi, another Wasps player, is not going on to the Six Nations squad for Italy. He's decided that those 6 weeks minus his, or 8 weeks minus his 2 off for good behaviour, which is like having a conjugal visit in prison. He's decided that that's not for him, so he's not going to join up with the Italy squad. So he's going to stay with Wasps this Six Nations campaign. I think it's going to be an interesting campaign. Not only that, it's going to be interesting what's happening with the Lions, isn't it?
Yeah,
nobody's going on fucking tour to South Africa, are we?
Well, did you hear about the phone call that was made this week? Farrell and Alex Jones.
Yeah, do tell a bit more, Julian.
Yeah, well, they've called up apparently and said, look, if the Lions tour goes ahead, it's got to be in South Africa. There's no other choices. Yeah, if we're going to do a Lions tour, there's no point doing it if it's going to be played in the UK. It's not a Lions tour. It's not a tour as such.
From the guys who stick all the money in, there is a point. From a lot of people's point of view, there is a point. From a South African rugby point of view, there is a point. I'm going to put my cards on the table. It ain't happening in South Africa. They do not have the money to do an awful lot of things over there. They can't even afford to buy the vaccine at the moment. It is not going to happen in South Africa. The last I heard this week about the new variation over there is the vaccine may not, and I put that in inverted commas, be effective either. There's no way that guys are going to put themselves at risk like that. The only alternative is that it is done in a cleansed way in the UK, and the South African team is bought here because it is a much smaller area. You can keep them all together much easier as well. As long as you don't invite Chris Robshaw, who takes his team out on the piss and then gets fined and gets games called off. So as long as Chris Robshaw isn't involved in their social planning, then you can keep the South African team in a bubble, and you could do the same with the Lions. I do think it's easier. I think it's easier here. I really.
Can't we just fly them all to Jersey, stick them on a tiny island? There's a pitch there. It's a championship team.
No, because
play all the games in Jersey.
Well, the reason you can't is because of Emmanuel Macron, because he did say this week that Britain will become as insignificant as Guernsey after Brexit. So now, who is it? Ashton. Ashton. We've been talking rumours and things. This is not a rumour. Chris Ashton, like others before him, has literally fucked off Harlequins, and he has left with immediate effect. And he's already being paraded in a Worcester Warriors top on their website today. What the fuck's going on?
I just think if players aren't getting their own way, they just throw a temper tantrum and walk away, don't they? You know,
what, at Quins or just generally?
Well, you know, like if you got like Sale and stuff, haven't they? And you got there's quite a lot of players moving about though, isn't there? With there's a lot.
We are in that transfer window, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a lot of South Africans signing and going to play in the Premiership. Loads of them.
Yeah, that's normally called Saracens.
No, yeah, but they can't play. So I think there's a lot going to Quins and Gloucester and stuff like that.
So it used to be, didn't it? You got South Africa of the South, which was Saracens, and South Africa of the North, which was Sale. But I think this year, of course, we've all seen the debacle at the beginning of the COVID, which is we're talking literally 10 months ago, with all those contract negotiations with Leicester Tigers and things like that. And I feel sorry for everybody. I really do, because it's a really, really, really tough time. If you're in the midst of contract negotiations, I think 19 Wasps are due this year. Can you really imagine trying to negotiate your value as more than it was over the last couple of years? I think you're going to struggle. The clubs really have no income. I mean, let's face it, apart from TV rights, which isn't a great deal, they've had zero income for 10 months. You put that into any other business, and you've already been laid off or made redundant, haven't you? So I know the clubs are doing the best they can. And I know, and I hate to say this, but some of the backroom staff, they have suffered. There are a number of clubs who have laid off 20 plus members of staff or put them on gardening leave. And our thoughts go out to all of those. But from an athlete point of view, this is not a great time to be renegotiating your contract. Quite tough, isn't it? Darryl, how's your contract negotiation going with your model agency, by the way?
Yeah, it's going very well, actually. I'm putting on my second round of lockdown luggage so that it'll be more impressive next time, yeah?
Mate, you can have some of my lockdown luggage because I've got plenty to fucking spare. Although, to be fair, Darryl, I think what you should have done is got in touch with the same agency that helped Saracens supposedly defeat the salary cap with their image rights, because I think with all those hits, you're probably more popular than James Haskell. Actually, no, even without those hits, you're more popular than James Haskell. So I think you could do it. You could do a lot of good and make a lot of money by owning your image rights here.
I think I'll pass on that, Mike, until I get caught the second time. Yeah. Watch Trailfinders TV this week, and you might see it again. Yeah.
No, do you know what? No, I would have watched because
from all good stores.
Yeah, I mean it's $7.99 a month for Amazon when they've got rugby on. Well, actually, it's $7.99 for Amazon when they haven't got rugby on, or it's $8.99 for 80 minutes of a championship game. I'd love to, but actually, there's something in that there's a claw that digs at me that says I am not paying £9 to watch one game. Maybe that's the I would say Scottish in me, but I have got no Scottish in me, so it's just the tight bastard in me that says I don't want to do that. If it was £4 or £5, I think I would, and I think a lot more people would. So Ealing Trailfinders 24/7. Just drop your price a bit, get more people in. Is this thing with Donny definitely going ahead? Because they had to cancel last week, didn't they, Darryl?
Actually, it was Sarries, wasn't it, who cancelled last week in the end?
Well, it depends if you read the rumours or whether you read the press reports. Because the rumours, I've no idea where they came from, said it was Donny, and several of them had been on holiday before the travel corridors had been shut. And then the papers reported that it was Saracens. So I have, as always, I have an open mind to these things, and I will be happy to be educated by a man who knows far more about it than I do, Mr. Darryl Chapman.
I think it was down to Saracens. I think they had some players that had been in contact with people who had tested positive, and so that took them out. And so perhaps they hadn't been following the social distancing protocols correctly. Well, there you go. Hashtag you heard it here second, because it was already in the press last week. The game is already scheduled. The game's been confirmed. So COVID testing is actually for this week. My COVID test is tomorrow at Northampton in the evening. Tomorrow evening. So COVID testing is Tuesday and Wednesday this week.
That's unusual. It's normally Monday.
Premiership clubs, I think, are going to twice a week testing from this week as well.
So are they still getting a helicopter to fly the tests out to County Antrim so that they can beat the NHS queue, and the NHS has to wait?
I don't know.
That I'm saying that the Guardian, the Independent, and everybody else was wrong back in December when they said it.
I don't know how they get it there, but the results come from the Randox lab the next day.
By about 9 a.m, don't they?
They come via the RFU the next day.
Yes, we should say that we do not decry Randox labs at all, and we all love them. And other professional laboratories are available. But anyway, I think we've come to that part of the show where we have to say goodnight to everybody. It's been a good laugh.
No, we're not. No, we're bloody not.
No, we're not, because actually somebody else has got another rumour.
Yes. No, this is not a rumour. This is not a rumour. Do you genuinely think, now I know you're going to be all English now, but do you think that Scotland might actually break their 38-year voodoo and actually win at Twickenham this year?
You've been on the drink.
Jen, can you send him some milk instead of that fucking whiskey that's deluding his brain?
I think it's a good chance of that.
So, Lawrence,
I'm going to let the man have his hope, because, I mean, I'm not going to...
That's all Scottish people
That's
do.
All he's got left. It's all he's got left. We can't take it away from him.
Well, I can't in good conscience support England, so I'm with Sam.
So you
can't support anybody, but you're supporting Sam.
No, I can't support England.
Why?
Why?
I just don't like England as much as I don't like France. Like England-France is the worst game I could ever have to watch, because I really don't care about
We were going to invite you over this year to come and work at the Rugby Sevens World Series warm-up, and now I don't know whether I should.
Well, Julian's going to back it up anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking support England either.
Julian's going to back up onto what?
Scotland.
Yeah, I'm going to be cheering on the Jocks as well. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you lot all cheer on anybody but England.
Yeah, that's fairly true.
Because you're jealous.
Yeah, no, Lawrence.
I feel sorry for you, and we just have to cheer on the underdogs, and it's never you.
We're still going to ride our sweet white chariots right up your arse.
Lawrence, do you have a lot of Six Nations in Kenya? Do you watch a lot, or?
Unless you've actually got a paid subscription with maybe something like Sky Sports or whichever media that airs the games, then it's not really available for everyone to watch.
But we can't give you our passcodes anymore, because I was trying to watch them in Australia today and they wouldn't let me because of Brexit.
The thing is,
every week.
The same thing happened here. I was trying to watch Amazon Prime and they wouldn't let me watch anything from the UK because I got a UK account. And up until Brexit, it would work. And after Brexit, all dead.
Yeah, okay,
Macron.
Australia.
Oh, you guys still going to be in Eurovision since you're all like not part of Europe no more.
Hey, we have another rumour as well.
How long has Israel been in Eurovision, and how long has Israel been in Europe?
Australia are in fucking Eurovision. What are you on about?
Listen. It's like Eurovision is like asking a Welshman and a Scotsman to cheer for England rugby. Everybody in the whole of the Eurovision knows that we are the best, which is why they will not vote for us, and that's why we get nil point.
Jen, if it wasn't no, I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, we'll be in Eurovision is because we, as taxpayers, pay for most of it.
It's true.
Actually, the BBC, through our TV license, pays for it.
Yeah, we pay for Eurovision. Yeah.
Do you know what? I really wish we fucking weren't. And I've wished that for about 3 decades.
I've never ever had anything to do with it since ABBA won it all.
It's never been the same since Terry Wogan left.
Well, at least it's like only like, what, 3 weekends of your life? In Sweden, it's, how long is it now, Jules? Like
about
2 months long?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things.
That shit seriously?
Yeah, in Sweden they have the Melody Festivalen, which is a massive music tournament which leads up to Eurovision, and it's the Melody Festival, and they actually pump more money into that than they do sports, I think.
What? Right?
It's
okay, right.
It's so long now because we have to have like semi-finals and crap.
Yeah, and
it was like one night.
The best losers round all the way up to one night final. But yeah, there's all the
well, on that bombshell, it really is time to go. We're going to carry on talking shit about the Eurovision, and we'll see you after some rugby next week. Take care. Good night.
Rest, peace, Jock.
Mr. Reese Priestland rumour.
Oh, hold on, Mike, hold on.
Oh,
hold on.
I apologise.
You've got to record this and then put it on at the end.
I apologise, dear viewers. We got carried away, or actually the Swedes got carried away, talking about their national pastime, which is clearly Eurovision, to talk about a proper rugby rumour. And as this is I know we're a European and worldwide show, but in fact, Kenya might as well fucking join Eurovision because it doesn't mean anything anyway. Now, as we are talking about rugby, it really is time that we had a rugby rumour, and Eurovision extraordinaire Julian has a rumour.
Yeah, well, Reese Priestland is moving from Bath to Cardiff at the end of the season, which is already known. And because they've done this, and there is grounds for it, Cardiff, the Welsh squad have asked, and they have to ask the clubs in Wales, can he come and play for Wales? And all the clubs have turned around in Wales and gone, yeah, no. 2 of them have just gone and said, no, he can't. We can make an exception for Reece Webb, but not for him. So the clubs have actually voted. It's been a 50-50 split. So Reece Webb now, even though he's been moving to Cardiff and he could be picked for the Wales squad, and the Welsh coach has actually said he'd like to include him in the squad, the clubs have turned around and said, sorry, no, you're not doing it.
Well, what a bombshell.
I know. And I suspect it's to do with a little bit of this, because they get paid for the players who are away with the Welsh squads. And they haven't got any money right now because they're not getting any ticket sales.
So, Julian.
That's just my opinion. Yeah.
Guess what?
What? End of the show.
Time for you to say good night, man.
Yeah. Good night, all.
We'll see you next week. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.